Mike, you get 2 more days of practice before the big road trip comes up. What's the priority trying to get done before you take off the 6 games?
Well, I'll go back and watch the tape, but, we got to address, I think, some box-out issues. We had trouble up in Minnesota, had a little trouble tonight putting bodies on bodies, and we got to make sure that we do that and cover that. I think our first game might be against Denver, and one of the things that they did very well, they got out in transition. They sent flyers, or they had guys leak out, and so we got to make sure, excuse me, we got to make sure we don't get beat in transition as easily as we have been, and then continue to do the things that we do every day and work on spacing, attacking the clock offensively, moving the ball, moving bodies, and then defensively be who we are, striking the floor, and don't give up middle drives, and then make sure we give multiple effort to rebounding at the end of each possession.
Even
Mike,
with how well
what did you like most about this win tonight? It was an impressive win, and what do you do to perpetuate it?
Hopefully keep trying to execute the way that we did offensively in terms of our spacing and ball movement. I thought that was pretty impressive at times tonight, but just as impressive, I thought we tried to defend the right way. We tried to execute whatever we do or whatever our assignments were defensively. We tried to execute those the right way, and that was exciting and fun to watch. But more importantly, I think having a big lead allowed me to rest for a second.
Even with how well
limited minutes again for McRoberts.
What's that?
Limited minutes again
Yeah.
for McRoberts tonight. Is there anything in particular going on with that?
No, the reality of it is Troy's playing some pretty good basketball right now for us, and especially with the second group that we're going with. We're going with Drew, obviously, with the second group, and Drew is getting the ball on the post, and so we feel like that Troy is a great space guy, and not only that, he's out there with Goodluck, and they can play pick and pop, or we can play inside out through Andrew, and Troy's ability to knock down the three keeps the floor spread, and as long as Troy keeps trying to defend, keeps trying to rebound, I think he's earned the minutes to play, and if we go back to Powell, now it's a little different. Maybe now Josh is probably a better combination with Powell. I'm not sure, but with Powell spacing the floor and playing the post, and Josh's activity, maybe those two guys work better together if they're with the second unit. So, but it's just. It's part of the process that I'm talking about, getting a feel for the best combinations, getting a feel for who we want with the second unit, and so on and so forth. And so, you got to give Troy credit with the way that he's played on both ends of the floor, because he's had an impact, especially shooting the ball. He's had an impact on what we're trying to do.
Can you attribute some of the increased scoring to the time of you putting in Goudlack? I struggle with the name myself. You said it so many different ways just now.
I said it, I might have said it.
Goudlack. We're working on it. We'll get it by the end of the season.
Yes, next year.
But it gives another person to create offensively with the ball. Maybe that was missing before. Do you think that is coincidental, the scoring near 100 or above?
No, it's definitely helped out, because he's given us some production off the bench. And I mean, if you think about it, our bench point production hasn't been great. And I tried to play him early in the season with Steve Blake as a two guard with that second unit, because the stuff that he's doing now, he has shown the ability to do that in practices and training camp for the short time that we had him. And to have a guy that can just go get a shot, you just play pick and roll or play random pick and roll and go create a great shot for yourself or your teammate, that's pretty neat to have. But you see other teams have them, and we don't have a ton of those guys. And so he's different than the guys that we have, and with the way he's been scoring, with the way he's been shooting. And when I say scoring, shooting a three or shooting his little floater, teams have to respect that. And so now what it does is it opens up the floor for everybody else. And you add Steve Blake to the mix with Goodluck's confidence, and and now you have some production that you like, hopefully on a night in, night out basis, and it doesn't put as much pressure on him to make plays all the time. But he's getting Troy some great looks, and Bynum's getting Troy some great looks, and that's why Troy is scoring for us too. So it's like a snowball effect or a trickle down effect when you have somebody that can go make some plays on it makes everybody else's job that much easier.
With Steve coming back shortly and with the production you're getting.
He's coming back shortly. When's he coming back?
Even if it's a month, although that's a lot of the season. If it's 2 weeks, if it's 4 weeks, 3 weeks. But you said at some point he's back, and you could envision, going off of what you were saying, that you could envision him and Galvin.
No, they can play.
They can play together,
definitely
but
play
could
together.
that kind of put the brakes potentially on trying to, rush to get another piece in there at that guard spot with him playing, that maybe there's not as much pressure and you just be patient and wait for Blake to get healthy? Or do you still feel possibly that another piece could help?
Well, I think you obviously like your team, and I do feel confident that we can win with this team. But I think we would be doing a disservice to ourselves and the organization and stuff like that if we don't keep trying to find ways to get better. And that no matter who's out there or what we're doing at any time of the day or year, I think you always got to try to get better, and whatever that means. And so that's what Mitch's job is. And so I don't think you say, okay, we got Steve Blake coming back, so we don't need to do anything the rest of the year. If there's an opportunity to get better, I think every team in the NBA is that way. If there's an opportunity to get better at any time, you go try to do it.
Do you expect as teams start to maybe pay a little more attention to God Lock and he shows up on more scouting reports and things like that it's going to get tougher for him?
It could, and that's a concern of having a rookie, but obviously we have to play a rookie right now, and he's stepping up to the plate in the regular season, but it could get tougher as time goes on, and they try to game plan for him, but the good thing about it is, he's playing early, so hopefully he'll see a lot of different looks early on, so come into the season, or playoff time, he's got some confidence, and he's seen a lot of different types of defenses, and he can adjust. Because one thing that you got to think about, he played 4 years of college basketball, so there's already a maturity about him. But he played at a pretty good mid-major in college at Charleston with a coach and